Right, so after very two important talks, now a less important talk, in the sense that everything is going on very smoothly even without it. But if it is happening without it, it does not mean that it's not important. Because we want to improve whatever we are doing, we want to improve ourselves as TAs, tutors, instructors, communicators of our own version. So if yesterday I was Santosh 1.0, then I want to become 2.0 and 3.0. That's the motivation which as human, as a species, that's what we desire for, right? If you take in biological sense, we all might have started somewhere long back, species which might be competing with other creatures on this planet and using our brains and power of evolution. We are here when there is no competition. There might be some other species, they might be thinking they are strong in power, they have more muscles, they might have more attacking instruments like long nails and other things. We don't have, but we have this. And that is our power, and that is the best thing which helps in problem of the gender discrimination. Your brain can bring you to that stage where there is no discrimination. So work on it, and that's why it is important that we keep learning new things, keep adding new dimensions to our personality. So one of this I'm going to talk about, which is about video making for instructional purposes. Now you might be thinking that I'm going to teach you how to make video. I'm not. That's not the purpose, because I'm 100% sure you'll make better video than me, okay? So there's at least 2 generations, so gap between you and me, right? So I'm old school in those terms, right? So that there is no challenge that you are going to make better videos. Just I want to put few points forward that why, right? So whenever we are going to initiate any task, the first question comes to us, why? And if we find, okay, it's not that important, then we drop the idea. So that motivation comes from application, advantage, the benefit, right? Just to look at it from a different perspective, which in our busy life, many times we do not get time to understand or explore. So few of those points from my experiences and from the experiences of others, which I have cited by taking their content or slide or picture, right? And try to use in my presentation. That will give you new dimension to think in that direction. Let's see what it is. From the very basic thing, which you already have learned in different lectures from yesterday, I have just tried to summarize it, that class board teaching is there is no replacement for that. But along with that, what else can be done? Class notes can be provided, textbooks, papers, TAs, tutors can help, staff, lab attendants can help, instructional video that I have added, assignments, quiz, and board exams. Now, I'm not saying that it is as important as other components, but maybe it will become that important if we start using it and seeing the benefit of it, right? What could be the important features of or significance of instructional content? See, generally what happens when you are in the class, and it's not about the content which is being taught in the class. It's about prerequisite. Now we all come from different educational backgrounds in the sense, because it's not about information. If it was about information, then I think one smartphone might have more information than all the professors on this campus. So I think it is very true, if not taken in that context of how to interpret the information, what should be the suitable content to use, what should be the exact content required to explore some idea or something like that. But otherwise, it's just about the information. You don't even need to go to library. You just open your phone, you will find all the information. It's not about that. It's about how did you receive that information, how well you had received it. So when you are going to next class or new place, right, so it becomes very difficult to follow because the person who is teaching, okay, I might be very sensitive to his students, but still there is a limit from where I will start. And maybe that is very alien concept for students. So they are not going to appreciate that much. And in that class, the amount of content is delivered. It's very, very tough to digest. So it's like if somebody's stomach is made for grass and you feed that person meat, that person cannot digest because that system is not made up like that, right? So you have to break it in smaller or less complex materials and then consume, right? Something like that. So how would you do that? For that, you need a little more time and same content passing through the eyes at very slow pace with gap. And as before the start of my interaction, Professor Aditya said that, okay, we can take 20 minutes or 30 seconds break, right? Just to cut off from something and start something new, right? That's required. So same way, if there is one information given, there is not enough pause, then you lose it. And then you move on to another one without understanding the previous one. And in most of the cases, those concepts which are coming after first one, it is very essential first one to be understood very well. Then you can appreciate the second one, right? So it becomes difficult. That's why it is important to have instructional content offline, which is not in the class, beyond the class. Then, if that is the case, that in class you are confused, you could not be very clear about any particular thing, then that confusion will increase if you are just without any direct link from the class to your self-study going for it, right? So what to do? Then notes, text provided, they are helpful, but they are frozen explanations, right? So people say that, okay, in poetic language, they kitab bolti hai, kavita bolti hai, but that's not true. That's your brain is saying you read this poetry or poem or whatever in your context, right? So these are your thoughts which you are trying to put in those lines, right? Same thing happens with whatever you have read in the class or you have seen in the class, right? You are trying to, so how much you can go beyond whatever you have, you can recollect just by looking at the text. It's very difficult, right? So that's why there is something else, little more is required. And that could be a video form of instruction, right? Now, as a TA, tutor, or lab staff, what is important? That when we are creating such kind of content to help students, right, there are a few important features which you can include to make it more impressive, right? That could be aim of the task, that what actually you are going to tell in the video, details of the task with every minor and major specification. Now more emphasis should be to the minor, not to the major. Because the major thing is obviously major and everybody considers it's major. So they will not miss it. Most of the time they would have paid enough attention to it. Like in lab, instructor gave advice that add 2 microliter of enzyme in a tube. Now, the emphasis is on enzyme. Then another emphasis is on 2 microliter. But how to do it? That is not available in offline form. Now, if in class there are 40 students doing practicals together, and it is 1 hour, 30-minute class, is it possible that TA or tutor or lab staff can go to each student and show that how to set the pipette at 2 microliter. It's not possible. And they have to finish the task in 1 hour 30 minutes. And if they are stuck to just at the adding step, then how they are going to complete the incubation for 40 minutes and then take the result out, right? It is happening in all across different courses, right? So it's not possible. But if there is a video which shows that how to pick your pipetter from the stand, how it was kept in relaxed mode, then how to set it up, then your half of the problem is solved. When you are reaching to the lab, they already know, the student already knows that, okay, where it would have been kept, what would be the form, what is the zero level, whether it is relaxed or not, and then how to rotate it to reach to 2 microliter. Then you can save a lot of time, they can save a lot of time, and work can be done. So that is the minor point. Many a times we ignore because we think that person would be knowing how to handle these pipetters. But that is not possible for every student because they might be coming from different backgrounds where labs might not be equipped. So I'll give you a small example. So I am from chemistry background. So in our case, the pipette is of 50 paisa glass pipette, right? When I started doing biology, I experienced this is 25,000 pipette, right? So there is a big difference. And if somebody, and I used to know there a small rubber bulb you use to take the solvent or anything. And when somebody says 2 microliter, really? How will you take? 1, 2 ml is fine. How you can go that fine? Taking a smaller amount, right? So I didn't know when I went for my bachelor's from 10+2 to bachelor's. So if there was a video which could have shown me that, oh, this is the procedure, then probably I would have got better marks, right? So that's why it is. So always pay attention to the minor steps in instructional video. Major, anyway, your instructor will teach, TAs will teach, tutors will teach, right? Then your video can have conclusion, right? Doing any exercise without giving conclusion of it, it is like a very not fruitful in the sense, as we started with that, why to do something. If there is no achievable goal for it, then why it is done, and how to verify that whether person has reached to correct or found the correct process and reached to the correct milestone unless there is conclusion in the system or in the video. Then it need to be explained that how that video information can be used for something else in future or some other exercise in the future, right? If that is connected, they can use same video as prerequisite learning for something else. And if that is given there, because many a times we are not able to think that where else this information can be used. And Professor Ritika cited a very nice example that if you tell them that how that class information is going to help them in their career path. So I'm in BSB department, but I all the time give example of how they can use this information in consultancy services. So you know why, right? And they get excited. Okay, really? Okay, even if I'm not trying to become a scientist, I can use this information. They connect to it very well. That okay, if you are a consultant in a very large pharma company and people are approaching you, what kind of experiments should be done, who should be approached, and if they know this class information can be used in that, they get excited and they start associating with it. And then references. That is another very important thing that should be in the video. That is for that if one of the students, they get very, you can fascinated about that particular learning and they want to explore further. They have certain avenues to go. Otherwise, as I said, one benefit of having a phone, that a lot of information, and one disadvantage is that there is lot of information, then you do not know. Within few milliseconds, you get like millions of pages open on internet. You do not know which one to read. And most of the time goes in that process, that which information to consume and which information to drop. So Professor Harbola, let me know when there are only 5-7 minutes left, which is I think I might be crossing. Okay, yeah, sure. Thanks, Aditya. No, I directly didn't want to go against him. Sure.
One thing you emphasize very well is that when you make a video, there are a lot of things we read, but the basic skill of doing the experiment can be conveyed well through this.
Right.
And similarly, when you're solving a problem, maybe basic skills can be conveyed.
Right.
And this will be very important for because they are PG students, if you can also comment later at the end. Now a lot of conferences and journals ask for video abstract. So if you can comment on that later, that would also be very useful.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, thanks for pitching in that idea. Okay, now there are a few slides which I have taken from somebody else's work, how they wanted to portray it. It is aligning with what we think. So how to optimize video content to heighten the engagement. So keep videos short. That is important, right? So that's why even if you are skipping the major component, keep attention to minor components, make small videos. Even if you can say that how to pipette out liquid from a beaker. Okay, that could be a small video rather than making the full experiment, that how to find the kinetics of a particular enzyme, and then you start pitching in everything, right? That stuffing should be avoided. Make simple video for small processes, so that they also can process it, go back and look at it multiple times, okay? Then break into clips. If somehow it is bigger, then you just chop it at different time interval. Then use a hook. Now this is like new lingo which I am not very well aware of, but if you use something which is catching their attention, then obviously, so as Professor Ritika also said that if you bring real life examples and the lingo, then probably you'll connect better whoever you are trying to explain the process. Then you can simplify the complex topics. Again, taking examples or making it like as descriptive as possible, because these could be instructional videos, right? And the best part is that effort you have to do only once, and then you can use it for multiple years. When I say multiple years, it should not be like, okay, 20 years. A few years for sure, okay? And then you can do improvement in those videos, right? With each year learning. Then check the knowledge and encourage reflections. That is important. That ask for input from whoever is watching your videos, those students. Maybe you ask them, okay, for the first task, I have created this video, you have gone through this, like we are collecting the survey, and you see how nicely Professor Oishi could put your responses, right, to teach us a new thing, right? If those responses were not there, probably then she has to hypothesize everything, right? That is not a good scenario. When there are realistic examples, they always connect with you and they bring best out of you, right? Then assess understanding, it's done. Video enhancement features, right? That again, I'll not be going in the detail, but what one can do, you can play back chapters, multiple formats, downloadable resources, how to make it smaller in size, right, which I did not do. So my file was really big and it took almost 10 minutes to open, but you don't do it. If you want to make it more accessible, see what I have seen, that now patience in students for accessing the readable material has gone down. If any learning material is taking more than few minutes, then nobody is going to access it. So try to be in a format which is easily accessible, easily downloadable, then only you can take full advantage of it. If it is a complex video or slide, then probably they'll not use it 100%. How to make it inclusive? Captions and transcripts. Wherever possible, you put text, because many a times when you are recording, your voice might not be clear. And when I say it, you remember that I think once Amitabh Bachchan was rejected from India Radio, All India Radio, because they thought that his voice is not suitable for mic. Okay, so there is nothing wrong. I don't know how much I am clear to you. So it's not in our hand. The pitch of our sound might not be very appropriate. So just wherever possible, you can add text to make it clear. Large fonts, high contrast visuals wherever possible. If you can approach your instructor and ask for buying a better phone or camera which can be used for, so I don't know how much they'll respond or which way they'll respond. But anyway, that can be done. Multiple language options. I think at least for the beginners, like BTech first year, BTech up to maybe second year, if there are multi-language options are there, which is again, you can pull in the some software, I don't know, some online source which can do that, then it is always better. Now, why? It's not about, so I mean, that's what I have understood. For learning technology, for doing science, you don't need to know English. English is like just a language for communicating with each other. You just need to know the concept. Like I always give examples of physics. It's like all around you. You have to just pay enough attention to, like if you, some of you might be playing cricket, right? How ball spins. And that was the first thing, because I was interested in cricket. That was the first thing which encourages me to learn more about physics. And it was one of my most favorite subjects, because I could understand how ball is spinning because of the way it is stretched and is moving in the air, right? So that gives better clarity and understanding, and that gives you more confidence, right? So if whenever I read it, if it was in English, probably I would not have understood it, because my vernacular English is Hindi. So I read it in Hindi and I could understand, appreciate it. And then that made me learn. And to learn that, then I started learning English. And then I learned the language. So that could be motivation. To start with, if it is available in all the possible local languages of India, then that is the best thing. If it is not possible, obviously there are limitations. You can start with English. But if there are possibilities, then go for other languages as well. Then reuse the video assets. Again, as I said, that if you make small clips that how to take solvent from something, then that taking solvent and making solution video can be put in many of the instructional videos. Then update information, that is important. You should not just, once you made it and you also took inputs from students, then you should not just stop there. You should try to incorporate those changes, do the edits. And then choose versatile tools. Again, it is well understood why, right? These are some of the sources which I found on internet, but I'm not saying that you should go only for this. You should go for whichever you think might be suitable for your kind of content. This is just placeholder. These are available. Some are subscription based, some are open source, but they are available. Yeah. Again, these are just placeholders for some information. Now, I'll go by some examples which TAs made, and for my course actually. Yeah, 5 minutes, thanks. I think that much time I will take, right? Just to show you, again, whatever I have discussed today and presented in front of you, those components might not be in these videos because these videos were made when I was not thinking in that direction. I was just experimenting, and I requested my TAs to, can you do this? And they did it for me, right? So that was the starting point. So again, baal ki khal mat nikalna. Let's see how it is. And I hope sound. So there is actually sound. It's full. No, but there is, he is speaking actually. Anyway, just believe me that he's speaking, okay? Right? So see, everybody knows how to take weight on balance. I said, no, you cannot. So he actually asked me, so shall I skip this step? No, I said, you do it, right? Because, okay, that is the starting point. If you do wrong weighing, your answer will never come correct, right? That is, looks like a minor component, but actually that is a major component, right?
100 milligram of
okay, there was, right? Then for
CNP plus PNI PAM.
right, that how it is being used, right? It's a small example of just using the drop cast method for coating paper for making sensing chip, right?
After drying, we have cut bigger squares into
And
smaller
how to
squares.
fabricate
Now we will
electrode
paste
on
copper
the
tape on
sensing
top
chip,
of them
right?
to form a
These
circuit.
small things, right? It's not like something which is, in example people say rocket science. It's not rocket science. Everybody knows. All students, they know. But if they have something to look at, they will do always better.
CNP plus PNI PAM.
Right.
After drying, we have cut bigger squares.
How to record the data, how does it look on the screen, right? We might think, okay, if you have started recording, something will come, but many times you might be seeing that instrument first time. You might not realize the screen you are looking at, that's not the screen. The screen is somewhere else. Data need to be recorded from somewhere else. And you, because don't want to ask anyone, because that person will think, "Arey, tujhe ye bhi nahi pata hai." That fear. At this stage, you might not be feeling like this. But you remember, when first time you came into practical class, or any class, that fear is always there. That, "Arey, mujhe log kya sochenge? If what people will think about me, agar maine ye pooch liya to." Right? For that, if there is a video content, they don't need to ask anybody, just ask the laptop. If there is enough charge, they can watch it, right? Or phone. So that will be useful. Okay, now I quickly go. There are many examples. I just put in here. Now, I ask even my students to make their create their assignments in video form. So they do regular stuff, writing and making papers and other things. Along with that, they make videos. Now here is one example.
Hi, I'm Gauri Menon, a student of BSc 411. This is my submission for the individual project of creating a prototype of a biomedical device.
And then
The device I have chosen is an integrated blood pressure and electrocardiogram monitoring device.
And
this groundbreaking advancement was done by a research team in the University of Ottawa. This device is a multi-parameter physiological monitoring device, and it has two main components, a BP cuff and a wristband.
Okay, so I'll move
the BP cuff serves. Hi, I'm Gauri Menon, a student of BSc 411.
That is some
this is my submission for the individual project of creating a prototype of a biomedical device.
Here, they also worked on something which is oxoband. So this is a product which is sold by some company.
Adipose tissue for breast
Students,
reconstruction.
they took it.
Female breast cancer is one of the most prevalent cancer worldwide. Mastectomy or lumpectomy is used as treatment to prevent the spread of cancer tissue. Mastectomy involves removal of entire breast and lump.
No, so these are just for example, right? So anyway, same way for some other students, they made, no, this is very unique concept. How to
Hey everyone,
learn
I
about
was reading
collaboration.
more
You
about
can
3D
see,
bioprinting.
these
It's a
all members,
technology
they
that
created
builds
this video
living tissue
together.
using bioinks
And
made
the
of cells and
way they are
supporting
speaking,
materials. It's like a
now
regular 3D
that will
printer,
create
but for
also bond
biology.
between them.
Yeah, I find the mechanic fascinating. There are different types of bioprinters. Some use a Cartesian system, which is simple but can.
Right. So and then they got to know that who is strong in what, and they started sharing notes of, and the students who were not very good in one component of the course, they became very strong by the third assignment. How? Because they learned from each other. While making video, they got to know, oh, your maths is good, your the bioinstrumentation methodology is very good, the way you are saying content, that is very good, and they started learning from each other. So that kind of, when you are making groups for assignments, that time you have to pay attention that they should be complementary. The kind of skill set these students should have, that should be complementary. Okay, with this, thank you very much for your time. These are the acknowledgements. I hope it is worth listening to me for half an hour. Thanks. Any questions, any comments, any advices which you want I should include my future presentations, please let me know.
Just before that, I just want to make a comment so that then.
Right, maybe that part you can finish.
Just wanted to make a comment. Some of you may be wondering why there's a talk on video making. So on that, I would like to say IIT Kanpur provides you a very, very fertile land where you can do things. If you think as a TA or as a tutor or as a lab TA, you can come up with a good video to explain certain thing, and an instructor will certainly appreciate it and incorporate it. So if you are a tutor, most of the courses are run on MOOCit. You can always make that video and give it to the instructor. It will be uploaded on the MOOCit. Okay. Similarly, if you can make a good video on experiments, do these things. And if you can come up with something good, you can always pass it on and it will be appreciated and shared with people. So develop this skill, use this opportunity, and IIT Kanpur gives that flexibility. Become a part of the team, contribute, and it will be appreciated. Thank you. Now you can have the questions.
Yeah, you can probably have one or two quick questions if somebody has.
Yeah, or you can make questions in video and send me.
That would be great.
Right. Okay,
Great.
thanks.
Okay, thanks.
All the best for further talks. Right. One information which I think we should give to you. So many journals, what they want, whichever research paper you are publishing, they want video abstract, right? So if you start with these scratchy videos to start with, then finally you reach to something which is like international publication quality. But for that, you have to start from somewhere, right? So you just start, even if you are making for instruction, then you will know how to make small videos with enough information so that even scientific community can appreciate it. When I say scientific community, because you have to add something very new, where a lot of information is already there, right? So whenever you are doing research, what do? Maximum 1 or 2 concepts from your thesis you add in already present information. How to reach to that stage that you can communicate the basics, something which is in developmental stage, and what you have contributed to the field to make that video, and that can be used for giving as video abstract for the journals. There are some journals who publish only video of experiments, JOVE, that is called, Journal of, I think, Video something, right? So there, if you are recording these things of your own experiment, there is a possibility that you can publish a separate paper on that, right? So that will also help you in the process. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you.